This is Still a Part of Us, a place where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Lee Red, and on this episode I'm talking with Tad, who told the story of his daughter, Hazel, who was stillborn at 36 weeks. Tad, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and thank you for sharing the story, the legacy of your daughter, Hazel. Can you give us a quick recap of your birth story?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Hazel again.
Yeah. So Hazel Ray was born still just over a year ago at this point. On May, we found out she had passed on May 18th, but she was born May 19th, 2020 at 36 weeks.
So you're just approaching the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what you're going how you're going to celebrate, or how you're going to either distract yourself or?
We're not going to work. That's all we've really agreed on at this point.
That's a good thing to do. And
yeah,
for us, the day we actually found out about Brandon passing, so the day before his birth, was actually even more hard than his birthday. So
yeah,
I don't know if you've thought about that, but for us,
a lot.
So yeah, he was Brandon was born on the 23rd. On the 22nd, it was so much more hard. So good luck, because you're coming up about 3 weeks,
just under a month,
So, well, good luck.
Yeah, we'll take any luck we can get.
So, are you going to be going to visit her?
Yeah,
I'm going to assume that you're going to go visit her on her on the anniversary, and
that's the only thing that we do know. So, unfortunately, the headstone that we had ordered her happened to be a rock that's not really made anymore. So it's getting shipped in from Georgia, and it's still not on her grave yet. But so the hope is we can celebrate with the headstone in place, and just celebrate her when that day comes around, in whatever way that means.
Well, good. And be gentle on yourselves. The first anniversary is so many emotions, so be gentle on yourself.
Yeah, will do.
Now, Tad, let's talk about some advice. What would you advise a father that is experiencing what you've experienced? What are some things that you would say, maybe try this, or don't try this, do this, don't do that?
Mm-hmm.
What has helped you?
Yeah, I guess the number one thing I would say is take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in just the loose, take care of yourself, buddy. I mean, like, if you exercise, keep exercising. Like, we made the conscious decision that we would drink zero alcohol for at least a couple months, because we didn't want to, do something that we would turn into a vice that would just be a fast track to putting ourselves in a worse situation than we would normally be in.
Yeah, it could be a very quick, slippery slope. So that's good advice. So
I'm on top of, if you don't exercise, walk, give yourself good food, because your mental state is psychological, but your mental state is also affected by your physical. So tend to those needs, because you can't control how you feel, but you can control what you do for yourself. And just making the decision to take care of yourself is going to set yourself up to be the best thing you can be for yourself, as well as for your significant other, and would help you be the person that your daughter or son would want you to be.
Yeah. So you're not necessarily advising somebody to become a bodybuilder. Like, if you're not used to exercising, don't start hardcore steroids and becoming a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But to get out, take a walk, take some fresh air. So
yeah.
yeah.
Because I do go to the gym and I lift weights and stuff. If I really wanted to, I could have gone in and just started lifting absurd amounts of weight and just doing all the stuff that I could maybe do. I would probably hurt myself just given the mental state I was in. So basically just, keeping yourself in a state of self-care, I think is the best thing you can do for yourself. Oh man. 'Cause I just hear some of the stories of how people they put themselves in, I didn't leave the house for a week. Like, even if you weren't grieving, that would put you in a horrible place anyways. I mean,
Mhm.
so take care of yourself, like truly take care of yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
And that'll help everything else
Yeah.
for sure.
It's easy to get into those ruts, and it's hard to get out of ruts. It's easy to get in, and it's hard to get out. And if you maintain just a little bit of, you know, when we came out of the hospital, one of the social workers gave us a list of, these are things that you need to do every single day. You need to get up, you need to take a shower, you need to eat some food, and then you need to do one thing. And if it's like go to the store, if it's read 20 minutes of a book, it's like do whatever. And once that's happened, awesome. If you want to go back to bed, you've done some stuff. It's easy.
That's actually really good advice.
And it's like, you've done some stuff. If go out for a walk, if you're like, yeah, I walked for 20 minutes. Awesome. I've kept I've maintained some regiment. Or if it's, I've gone on a run, I've gone to the gym, I've worked out. I've maintained some stuff. And then I can do whatever. If I want to go back to bed, sweet. Be able to say to yourself, I've maintained some stuff. Now I can go back and grieve. So that's good. That's good advice. Do something to maintain. So
yeah, absolutely.
Quick question: is there anything that you have built, purchased that reminds you of your daughter Hazel, or collected? Is there pressed flowers or like?
Yeah. So we actually have it's at the opposite end of that. It's at the opposite end of the house, but there's we did make a little, I don't want to use the word shrine because that sounds much more intense than it is, but we have this little place where we've got like the blanket that she had laid across her in the hospital. We have a little box that has her outfits in it. We have somebody had prayed a rosary for her and gifted us that rosary, so that's in this box. It was just a shelf, but we just recently got an enclosed little glass cabinet thing. So we have all her stuff in there, which has been really, really nice. So we could kind of walk back into that world without having to feel like we need to just live in it.
Yeah.
But we could always just, walk back over and just kind of relive the time that we had with her.
That's nice. Now, are these personally? We have some momentums of our son Brannon that I am not able to interact with. I'm not able.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just mentally and physically. I'm not able to handle it. But then there are some other things that we have that I love to go and look at and touch. Has that little shrine been good for you, or is there sometimes you're just like, not to say that it's like cringeworthy, but like, I don't
like, is it difficult?
Yeah.
So for me, it's been very, very good.
Yeah.
I know that for whatever reason, that hasn't really been an experience that I've had. I know that has been the experience for a lot of people, but for me, it's not really. Well, I guess let me put a slight variation on that, on my answer. So is there anything that we have that we didn't necessarily want to touch? Kind of. After we lost her, we did get a dog, and like having her around has been great. She's been the recipient of a lot of misplaced or love that was looking to go somewhere. So our dog is the luckiest dog in the world. But when we received the casket that my daughter was buried in, it actually came paired with a little stuffed bear. A stuffed bear that there was a little logo on the casket, and the bear has a shirt on that has the same logo on his chest. It was one of those things we like kind of having around. Just don't play with it too much or anything.
Mm-hmm.
My dog May found it and ripped its eyeball off. So that was a little rough. Fortunately, we were kind of able to reattach it and kind of make it look less, slobber covered and all that stuff. But so I'm pretty defensive of that.
Yeah.
But that's really about it. I mean, if our house was on fire, I should probably go grab a fire extinguisher. But the first thing I'm probably doing is running over, grabbing that whole thing and carrying it out.
Yeah.
I could lose the rest of the house and that'd be fine. But yeah, I just those things. Yeah. I mean, they're just beyond value for me.
Yes. There are everything that is associated with our son is I love and I hold dear, but some of the things, and I advise of people, don't feel bad if you can't handle it, or if you can't, like it's in a box and it's it's off to the side, and my wife, she's able to look at them and that stuff, but myself, I can't, with a couple of items. They're a little too sacred to myself. They're a little too personal, and it's been 3 years and I still have some issues with it. So good issues.
Just to double down on kind of the initial question of what advice would I have is take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But accept how you grieve.
Mm-hmm.
I accept. I mean, if you have those things, that's okay. That's human.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not grieving in a way that is not allowing you to take care of yourself, grieve differently, even if it's differently than your spouse. Just respect that and understand that's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Respect that, and that is okay. So.
Yeah.
Well, good. Anything else that you'd like to advise?
Mostly just don't be ashamed or embarrassed or any other negative adjective about your situation. Your child existed. If there are people who you care about, if you're talking to them about things, if you want to talk to somebody about that, do. I mean, people half the time they want to ask, but they don't feel like they can.
Yeah.
Even just this past month, I got together with some family who I hadn't seen since the funeral, and I could tell that they all kind of wanted to ask, but I wasn't quite sure if the best way to bring that forward.
Mm-hmm.
But just knowing that, speak openly about it because people do want to know.
Yeah. And another thing to piggyback on that, when people ask questions, they may ask bonehead, insensitive questions.
Yes,
but
they will.
But allow them to do that and don't take offense, because it's hard for everybody. It's hard for us as parents who are grieving. It's hard for us as parents who have lost, but it's also for friends and family and acquaintances. It's hard to like, oh man, if I bring this up, is he, Jesus, is Lee going to melt down and just be a puddle on the floor? So they might not know how to ask a good question. So be able to have sort of a thick skin. So
yeah. Like, I mean, that same get together I had with my family, I brought my dog May with us, and my aunt said, "Oh, come here, Hazel," that was my daughter.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "We do it too. It's okay. We don't hate you." It is what it is. You're gonna, probably say things you don't mean to or anything like that. And that's okay. We know you're not being malicious.
Yeah. Very few people in life will ever truly want to be malicious. Most of the time it's just misunderstanding. So,
yeah. Especially about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Anything else?
I think that'll do me.
Awesome. Well, Tad, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to talk with you, talk about your daughter Hazel, talk about her life and her legacy. It's been a pleasure just to spend some time with you as a father, a father of loss. So thank you for coming on Still a Part of Us.
Absolutely. Thank you.